What's up guys, my name is Gabe and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. Before we go any further, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful day today with your families. And of course, just want to thank you all so much for all the support this year. This has been a crazy ride as it pertains to USC, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, but really I've had a blast this year talking USC football with all you guys. And yeah, we have one more game preview on the docket for this year. USC, Texas A&M, and the Las Vegas Bowl, a very interesting matchup. Finishing off the year exactly like we started with an SEC team in Las Vegas. So guys, of course, if you are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Now let's get into this. Okay, so as always, let's meet the Texas A&M Aggies. The head coach is, of course, Mike Elko, a very respected defensive mind who was at Duke last year. Mike Elko is someone I'm a big fan of, both schematically and culturally. I really like what he preaches. He runs a very tight ship over there in College Station. He wants a very physical team, a very disciplined team, and you can most definitely see that fingerprint starting to show up on this Texas A&M team as the year was starting to wind down. Now, this was not a bad Texas A&M team by any means. Obviously had that tough first loss to Notre Dame, who turned out to be a pretty damn good team. We saw that firsthand. They also lost at Columbia, playing against South Carolina later in the year as well. South Carolina was playing some damn good ball at the end there. That loss at Auburn is pretty unacceptable, pretty shocking. But again, in conference play, sometimes shit just happens. And then obviously losing by 10 to Texas is nothing to scoff at. So overall, it's a pretty good team. They also beat LSU just like we did. But of course, when it comes to bowl games in 2024, the big question is who's actually playing. So Texas A&M did have three pretty big opt-outs. All three on the defensive line with Shamar Turner, Nick Scourton, and Shamar Stewart. Now, Scourton in particular, that is a stud. He's going to be a first-round pick, a dominant pass rusher at times. Very excited for our rather inexperienced offensive line going into this game to not have to face that guy. And of course, speaking of the offensive line, what do I expect it to be for USC? Obviously, with Emmanuel Pregnon coming back, that really shores up that left side. It's going to remain the same. Elijah Page at left tackle and Pregnon at guard. But Jonah Monheim is going to be opting out of this game, so I assume it's going to be Killian O'Connor there at center. And then Alani Noah should retain his right guard spot. And then at right tackle, it's between Tobias Raymond and Justin Tuanu. Now, obviously, we're not at practice. We don't know what the tackle rotation is, but we just haven't seen anything there yet that Justin has surpassed Tobias. So I'm going to assume that Raymond is going to be your starting right tackle against Texas A&M. But talking about the rest of the opt-outs, I do have a depth chart up on the screen right now. Obviously, Miller Moss is gone, so Jake Jensen is going to be your backup. He is in the transfer portal, but he is playing in this game. Thank you so much, Jake. Running backs looking pretty thin. Woody Marks and Quentin Joyner are both out, so there's going to be a heavy dose of Brian Jackson and Amarion Peterson. Very excited for those two guys, especially Brian Jackson. I am fascinated to see what the freshman is going to do against this pretty good Texas A&M defense. Looking at the wideouts, you all know Kyron Hudson out, Deuce Robinson out, Zachariah Branch also out. So this is going to be the Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane show. For years now, we have wanted the wide receiver rotation to relax a little bit at SC, and I think we're finally going to see that in this game. When you watch the teams like Ohio State, like Alabama, Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams are not coming off the field for no reason. Lincoln Riley has been rotating the wide receivers way too much, and hopefully that stops in this bowl game. Also, big opportunity for a guy like Jay Fair to cement his role for next year. And are we going to finally see an Xavier Jordan breakout game? I know he's been battling injuries this year. Hopefully he's fully healthy and ready to go. Tight ends, the only guy we're missing there is Cade Eldridge because he's in the portal. So business as usual, a lot of Lake McCree, a lot of Walker Lyons. Is this the game we finally see Joey Olsen break out? I sure hope so. And then we already talked about the offensive line. You are missing a few depth pieces there with Gino Quinones, Amos Talalele. Don't think Kalolo Ta'aga was going to factor into this game, but he's gone too. And obviously Mason Murphy's gone at right tackle, but that's not that big a loss. Now on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to be pretty solid. The only starter opt-out we've had is Jalen Smith, who's declared for the NFL draft. That is a big blow. He's one of the best players on this team. But considering we're getting Eric Gentry back, man, that's all the news I needed and I'm ready to go. Absolutely fired up to see 18 back on the field. The most important player on this team earlier in the season. By far our biggest playmaker on defense. I think he was our best tackler. And man, he is an underrated pass rusher as well. And just from an emotional standpoint, what a boost to get 18 back out there. But yeah, other than that, you're missing Elijah Hughes, who didn't really factor in this year. Sam Green, who was wildly inconsistent there at defensive end. And Zion Branch, who's a rotational box safety. So not really missing a lot there. A lot has been made about the departures for USC. But when you see it up on your screen, I think it's fair to say that not too many impact guys are leaving, considering Texas A&M has 3 starting defensive linemen opting out, with one of them being a potential first-round pick. I'd say that Jonah Monheim, Jalen Smith, and Woody Marks is a fair trade. But taking a look at the Texas A&M offense here, this is a run-first approach. A&M is averaging 41.6 carries a game. That is number 13 in the country. They like to run the ball, and they run it a lot, especially since Marcel Reed took over at quarterback. They are absolutely run first, and the quarterback run game is a massive part of what they do. Colin Klein is the OC. If you think back to his Optimus Klein days at K-State, a lot of similar principles here. A lot of quarterback power, a lot of quarterback counter. They're very big on the RPO game. They'll mix in the option every now and then. So the front 7 is absolutely going to have to be on their toes to prepare for this Aggie run game. But flipping to the defensive side of the ball, this is one of the more intriguing pass defenses in the entire country. The A&M defense is ranked number 3 in the country in opponent completion percentage, only giving up about a 53% clip, which is very elite. This is a very aggressive defense. They're going to play man coverage. They're going to try to get their hands on you. And if they want to do that, that's fine. But they need to realize who they're playing at quarterback. Jaden Maiava is not a timid quarterback. He's going to throw the ball downfield even when his guy's covered. So if you're an A&M DB and you want to play man coverage against Makai Lemon, against Jacoby Lane, just know that you're going to be getting tested all game long. There's going to be a lot of jump balls, a lot of balls on the sideline. We saw the game plan in the Notre Dame game, run a fade route, run a fade route. So if they want to come up and play their aggressive style of defense, I think our wideouts are absolutely going to be up to the task. But the main thing I want to see from Jaden Maiava in this game, absolutely more than anything, is an ability to throw into the middle of the field. Because whether he didn't trust himself or Lincoln Riley didn't trust him, we avoided the middle of the field against Notre Dame like the plague. And what that says to me is that Lincoln isn't necessarily confident in Jaden reading the defense, in feeling where those zones are and throwing an accurate ball. Because when you're throwing the ball to the outside and the sideline is your friend, you're mostly just relying on your physical gifts. Arm strength, pushing the ball, putting some velocity on it, making it hard for the DB to get his hands on the ball. But when you're throwing into the middle of the field, and this is why Miller Moss was so good at it, it's all about your mind. It's about reading the defense, knowing where your guys are going to be, and throwing an accurate ball. And those don't appear to be Jaden's strengths at this point in time. So I would like to see us throw the ball into the middle of the field at least a little bit. Because if we come out again against a pretty good defense and don't even try, then that's a very concerning sign for Jaden Maiava going forward. Because look, I know he's classified as a young quarterback, but with the amount of starts he has in college football, he's not that young. And if we're this far into the process and we can't throw the ball into the middle of the field, then there's some serious problems there that need addressing. So in this game, I really want to see it. Let's feed guys like Lake McCree, like Makai Lemon, guys that eat in the middle of the field. Would really like to see that. And obviously what this game is going to come down to is turnovers. 3 pick sixes and 3 starts. We cannot turn the ball over, but we absolutely cannot turn the ball over and allow them to score on the same play. That's catastrophic. That's going to cost us the game. Now look, I'll be honest, is winning the Vegas Bowl the biggest deal in the world? Not really. This is pretty much a spring practice. I was talking to Tim at the USC Voice of College Football channel, and he called it an early spring game. And I think that's the best way to describe it. You want to win every game, obviously, especially when it's against an SEC opponent. But what I want to see more than anything are the young guys flash. I want to see more Desmond Stevens. Do we see a guy like Marquise Gallegos? Maybe a guy like Celis Williams, Elijah Newby? So many young guys on this team, I can't go over them all. But just like we found out a ton in the Louisville game last year, I think we have a similar opportunity this week against Texas A&M. But yeah, having said all that, getting into the score predictions, as of right now, USC is a 3.5 point dog to Texas A&M. I don't know whether it's the holiday spirit or Eric Gentry's return, but I'm feeling very positive and optimistic about this game. I expect the over to hit in this one, and I have USC winning an extremely tight game, 31-30. Guys, of course, I would love to hear your score predictions. Please let me know down below. And of course, if you did happen to enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support throughout the entire year. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on. Merry Christmas and beat the Aggies.